Oh, hello. And we're live. We are live by the looks of it. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the West Ham review. Bear with me while I just send people in the chat.
Yeah.
And we're live. We are live by the looks of it. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Right. So, yes, we are live, Tom.
So, yes, good evening, mate. Hopefully, we'll have people coming over in there. I'm just going to check the chat anyway to make sure they've seen that.
I forgot to turn my phone down. But anyway, good evening. Welcome to the West Ham review. We've had a few technical issues, none of them being any of our fault, actually. StreamYard's down, Restream is down. What was the other one that we tried, Tony?
Oh, Riverside as well.
Riverside. We've tried about 4 different ones. OneStream. Good on you, boys. Love them.
So what I'm going to do here, let me just go to that schedule and delete that off now. That way we can get rid of, people can come over to us.
Yeah.
And that should be ready there. Hopefully now we're all good to go. And people will find us at some point. Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable, as they say.
Yeah, they're in. They're in. Brendan's in.
I'm just trying to get the chat to connect up for me. There you go. Right, so finally we got into there and there. Yes, good evening, Brendan. Hello again, Tottenham Budgie. I do apologise, everyone. Major issues with Talk Studio, even with StreamYard. We wasn't getting there at all, so apologies. Welcome to us anyway. Hope you're all keeping well. And before we start off, obviously we started with Brendan, but our condolences to, as you've already seen, the tragic accident out in India with the Air India airplane. And it seems out of everyone on board that plane, there was one British UK citizen that just survived that crash. And I think he can't even believe himself that he is the only one that survived it. I think even his brother obviously has passed away as well. So, condolences to them and their families and that. But as always, we are back on. Yes, like I said, it did take a while. And I am with the Sveltness himself, Budgie. So, good evening, as we were saying.
Good evening.
Brendan saying, I liked now, Budgie, my stain is clean. Thank you very much, sir. Daz, good evening to yourself. Hope you're keeping well, mate. Good to see you. And also to the other Daz as well. Good evening. Terence, good evening to yourself. Hope you're keeping well. And Toby's doing very well as well. Good evening, Stephen. Found you. Good evening. Good evening to yourself, mate. Yeah, we really apologise what's gone on today. Mama, good evening to yourself. She's saying hello again. And also to Harry, good evening, all you beautiful people. Come on, you irons. Good evening, Gary. Hope you will, mate. Evening, fellas. And they're saying hello to each other. Mr. Bell, good evening as well. Evening, Tony and Budgie. Hope everyone's good. And where are we now? Yeah. Harry saying, "What the fuck are we talking about tonight?" Not much, to be honest. And unfortunately, we would love to have done Green Street Elites, but with this channel, we've just quickly found to kind of get ourselves on with, and that we had, would have to upgrade, and time-wise at the moment, me and Budgie haven't got that on us. So yeah, it won't be much, Harry. It's actually we've not done nothing in this window so far. I'm assuming that you and Kieran covered most of this last night. I'm assuming, Budgie. Aces, good evening. Oh, can't hear you now, mate. Can't hear you. We're doing really well. There you are, Harry. I blamed you for the failure on the other channel.
1, 2.
I can hear you now, mate. I can hear you now.
Yes, thank you. Right, yeah. So yeah, we covered some of it last night, but what we did do is we kind of let the chat lead the show, because we was like, who do we want to bring in this window? So we were giving the chat an opportunity to sort of either name players or specific positions that we should be looking at. Well, I actually identified a player that I've liked for a few months now, because I do like Dutch football, okay? And there's a young Dutch lad, he's 21, I believe. His name's Luciano Valente, plays for Groningen. And that's actually my favourite Dutch team as well. So I have got to see him play a few times this season. Now, I've watched a couple of reels of his, and, I know you can't really judge a player properly by the reels, but for me, he's the player that we should have gone and got to replace Declan Rice with, even though he would have been coming up for his 20th birthday. Even then, he was only just stepping into first team football. He's had something like 95 games, scoring 14 goals, I think it is, or no, sorry, something like 8 goals and 14 assists or something like that. He's an attacking midfielder, but he tracks back so well. He intercepts play really well. And, I just think that, given Graham Potter's sort of mentality and his kind of thesis on the game, he would make a box-to-box midfielder out of this guy. I can see it now. And he would be he's comfortable anywhere across the midfield zone.
Yeah.
He's one coming up for 22. He's on a contract until 2028, which means that, he might not be willing for a move. But on the other term is that Transfermarkt value him at €8 million, which I'm saying is between 7 and 8 million quid. I think, isn't it? Something like that.
Around the kind of region, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost £1 for €1, isn't it now? He's about €8 million according to Transfermarkt. It's maybe somebody we could prize out of another 3 years of contract. We could prize him out for maybe 8 to 10 million. But for a player of his ability, and I think because he plays in the Dutch league and he plays for one of the reputed hardest teams in that league to break down, he could quite easily settle into the Premier League and kind of literally be that player that I think Declan Rice. We didn't replace Declan Rice.
Yeah, which we know that one, didn't we? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's young. That's one good thing. So there's a bright prospect.
Yeah.
So take that as well. Yeah. I mean,
he's got a Dutch mother, Italian father. He played under 23s, under 21s, and lower for the Italian national setup. And since the 23s, he's been in the Dutch national setup. I don't know how many appearances he's had, if any, but he has. Well, actually, Google, I think, said it was something like 3 appearances or 5 appearances or something.
So there's a future for him in that respect, the international market, which is good. So that sounds like a good player to get hold of, especially at the price you said. Mama saying, "No, it's been the same for everyone." So we're not alone in budget. It seems like there's a few people that's been having issues with YouTube, by the looks of it. Good evening, Frog. Hope you will, mate. Harry, say what the fuck? Crash? Yes, unfortunately, mate. On its way to Gatwick, it took off 242 people on board, apparently, and within 65 seconds, it was a ball of flames.
Yeah, actually, on YouTube, if you scan down to the section that's got news items on it, there is actually a video, a CCTV footage video of the moment it came down. It goes down behind buildings and trees and stuff, but you see the ball of flame.
They reckon it's possibly a double bird strike. because when that CCTV one you're saying about, as it takes, just about as it's going to take off from the ground, you see a big old plume of dust and whatnot, and they reckon that could be where it's bird strike and
oh my god,
yeah, they reckon the pilot tried to kind of bring the nose up so it come in gracefully, but unfortunately,
well, it looked like he was coming into land when he was coming down. That's for sure. He had he had all the the landing gear extended and everything. So like you say, he literally just got off the ground. So no need to even have tried to put your landing gear up. You keep it down. You try and make the best landing you can.
Exactly. I mean, what was strange to see was like it landed. It went through a medical training college, and the tail section's wedged in the roof still at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matt saying thoughts for all the families of those loved ones that died in the plane crash. Absolutely, Matt. And
absolutely, mate.
Daz says, I was just thinking about going to the pub, Tony. Daz, apologies, mate. Yeah, saying it's been a merry hell trying to get this going. Thank you for
your benefit. We toiled. We got blood under our fingernails trying to sort this out for you, Daz. Ungrateful bastard.
Yeah, Mum was saying actually Erin went down. Good evening, James. Hope you will. Evening, Tony and Budgie. This is obviously India. Harry's asking where it was. It's in India. Asia saying,
I think, wasn't
it? No, it begins with a G or something. It's called.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so a bit of a shame, but didn't expect something like that, and it was heading towards Gatwick of all places. Yeah,
yeah. Good job. Good job. It didn't happen on the way in.
Cool. Asia saying Sullivan bank account is on lockdown, padlocked. Not surprised. Yeah, that could be the case because it does wonder where we're going to go with this. Gary saying don't bother looking at transfers till the last couple of days of the window. Until then, just listen to the bollocks. This one, Gary. Yeah, John Duran on loan being the latest. Oh my days! Does this fella never go away?
So he goes to a Saudi club for 63 million quid, and they're going to instantly loan him to West Ham for threepence halfpenny a month. Yeah, of course it ain't going to fucking happen. John Duran. I mean, honestly, him and Jonathan David, it must be the name John. But them two always seem to pop up like a bad smell, don't they? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate both the players for what they can do and who they are, but these are names that we're constantly being linked with,
Yeah, I know, mate. It just I think like Evan Kilson, until, as Gary's saying there, the last minute knockings, you can see it coming, and then we're going to get the old, we did try, but just couldn't get it over the line.
Yeah. Oh, and have you seen the story? I can't even think who might have leaked it or who might have created the story, but Ben Rama is linked with a move back to Brentford.
Oh man!
I mean, come on. Don't get me wrong, he'd probably do well at Brentford, but he ain't going to go back, is he?
No, but obviously it's just been announced that Thomas Frank is now the new Spurs manager, so they've got that over the line there. Yes. One manager I'd love to have seen here at West Ham, but looking at it now, if that's the case, then
but just think, mate, Big Angie's available now.
There's that. Big Ange, we can go for him, but more importantly in that, we can go to Brentford now and pick the bones of some of the players, because obviously, are they going to want to stay now?
Well, the thing is, it looks like the striker, what's his name, Mbeumo, looks like he might be going to Newcastle.
Yes, him and Man United it's been touted with them,
right? And also that Weiss has been linked with. Hang on, I don't want to get this wrong. Wolves, I want to say.
Well, let's jump in then. Let's hijack the deal.
Let's have him, Weiser.
Yeah, let's hijack the deal. Get in there quicker than that.
It'd be about time we got another Trevor Sinclair, really, wouldn't it?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I
No,
mean,
I think that's what Weiser is. He's like a modern day version of Trevor Sinclair.
got the smile as well, isn't he? When he,
Yeah,
when he
you
does
know,
things. Yeah.
you know.
Steve saying that at least we can go in for Scott Carson now, lads. Scott. Oh dear. And of course, as always, say hello to each other. Good evening, Damien. And he's saying, should we sign David Raya?
Yes,
Well,
I like it.
it makes you laugh because when you look at it, apparently they've apparently signed Kepper for about £5 million, but there's no actual confirmation that they've signed this fella. So yeah, because as we know, it was a 9-day window that's now closed, and now we've got to wait now until the 16th, and it all starts all over again until
Which is only what, 4
September.
days away?
Yeah, not that far away, mate. The question is, isn't it? Are we going to see any business from our end? Should we sign David Raya?
Not for the first 3 or 4 days, you know, but then I guarantee we'll see some sort of movement. You know, whether it be a £70 million bid for Caduce, or whether it be a £48 million bid for Paqueta or something, you know.
Well, yeah, we've seen some twists. Well, put it this way: now Man City signed what's his name? Oh, they got someone in at the last minute. That's basically kind of scuppered Paqueta going there now, basically.
Yes, but don't be too surprised if Chelsea or Aston Villa step in.
Right.
Or Newcastle even, you know, because Newcastle are going to be the dark horse this year, and they will get bargain players, great players at bargain prices, guaranteed, because people want to play for Eddie Howe. Players want to play for him, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, people will be interested in going to Newcastle on the strength of Eddie Howe being the manager.
True, but like I said, mate, you know, until we see it actually happen on that, I'll just listen to the rumour mill and laugh me bollocks off. Listen to some of the kind of things that are going to be coming. As you know, we have a busload of people confirmed that's coming to us. Good evening, Pepsi. David Brentmore, like. Damien was asking about that kid you were talking about, the Dutch kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damien was who are they talking about? He's asking.
Oh, right. His name is Luciano Valente. He's actually playing tonight in the Dutch under-21s. So, but he plays for Groningen. Really good little player. And I think he'd be a great replacement for Declan. I really do.
Yeah, let's Frog say we've bollocks this up already, haven't we? Yeah, because so far nothing. And we can't even sell players really, apart from the ones we're talking about a Gerd possibly going off. Because I think there's another team that's Naples, I think, is coming back in for him. Mama says, do you guys think a lot of clubs are waiting until the July the 1st before they announce transfers? I think you're not probably far off from that, Mama, because you know what these clubs are like. They'll wait for the first club to say something, and then before you know it, it'd be like a bunch of buses. You get three come along all once. They'll all join the bandwagon and say their piece. So, yeah, I think you'll find there'll be a lot of quiet activity. All we're going to hear is they're going to sign this player, get this player. I mean, look, not being funny, you know, when you look at the Arsenal one, Zubamendi was already a done deal before the season finished. But he's not walked through the door yet. Yeah, let's talk about the Dutch geezer. Anthony, big up to yourself, mate. Hope you're well. Good seeing you. Brendan saying about the Dutch lad with an Italian name, Damien. Yeah. Frog saying Johan Pavarotti. Damien saying Andy Diouf would be a great Declan Rice replacement.
Yeah, actually, Damien's spoken about him a number of times, and you know, it's not that I've dismissed your comments or anything, Damien. I just didn't pick up on it. But then somebody spoke to me in the pub the other day, and he was like, "Oh, mate, there's only one player that you could have replaced him with, and his name's Andy Diouf." I went, "Sorry." and my ears went up, and he went, "Yeah, mate." He said, "Great player." He said, "Box to box, loves to get forward, loves to stay behind. You know, he backs up his back four or three or whatever it is." He said, "Good player, really good player. You should watch him." So, Damien, my apologies, mate. I should have watched him before. But when somebody completely unrelated, never watched any of my streams or anything I've been on, says that to me, kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know. So my apologies, Damien. Well spotted, son.
Good. Good evening, JB, as well. Evening, all he's saying there. Anyone saying hello to him as always. Damien saying about obviously the player. He's 6'2". He's a ball winner, ball carrier, naturally left-footed to suit either Souček or Alvarez. The problem is, though, it depends if we're going to have these players come the beginning of the season, Souček and Alvarez.
Mate, I'd like to see him and Valente as a pairing. Cool, I bet they'd be good. Because Andy Giff is, you know, about the same age as well. So there would be that, you know, that kind of camaraderie where both kind of similarly aged, playing alongside each other. I reckon it'd be quite a good.
Transfer market price.
Damien, you're right. Transfer market prices ain't accurate, but mate, it's a basic guideline that we can go by. You know, they're not completely accurate, but they're never that far out, really, to be fair. Mind you, the way this market's going, they could be fucking far out if they said it was worth 100 million.
True. And it's saying he's good with this player, and the computer says he's shit, laughing his head off. About Raya, then right for the picking for Arsenal, that player. Yeah, absolutely. Ain't ideal for us then. No, probably not. JB saying it's the first 787 to go down. They've been in service since 2009. A large bang was heard, very odd, maybe birds or something different. Yeah, JB, they reckon it could be possibly a double bird strike. There's been a series of them around the airport over the last year or so, because that could be a possibility. And depends if they've got rangers to run up and down the length of that runway to scare the birds off first. But in this occasion, it doesn't look like that was the case. Yeah, what a shame. Views, big up to yourself, mate. Big up, gents. Make sure we go and see Views on Sports. Give them a share, like, and obviously subscribe.
Evening Views.
Frog says flaps not extended is another one being touted. Yeah, apparently there was no sign of the flaps going up, but it seems to be a double loss of power because it's, you know, the loud bang, and then
could have been a loss of hydraulics stopped the flaps from extending.
Possibly there's that as well. It just seemed that, you know, that CCTV one just shows a bit more than the one you see, and you hear the engine noise. You hear it going over. There's no engine noise at that point, and then of course you see it going over. But that one with the runway one gives more of a clearer indication that there was something definitely wrong at that point.
However, it was tragic, and you know, a lot of people lost their lives, and that's tragic. So, you know, you know, I'd like to know what the truth is, but I'm pretty sure that it was not, you know, anything malicious, you know, or
no.
I mean, natural, as you say, bird strike, you know.
The problem is because of the intensity of the flames and so forth, they've got to hope that the actual black boxes weren't damaged. That's the problem there. They've got that job to do.
Yeah, they're pretty robust though, Tone.
Yeah, they are, mate. But yeah, when you look at
they found that plane out in Greenland or somewhere like that, it has been in the trees for like, I don't know, 12 years or something. It had all rotted away. It was open to the elements. The black box was there on display. And they plugged it in and it told them everything.
Blimey. So you never know,
After
mate.
12 years of being open to the elements and stuff,
true.
You know.
Thank you, Views. Smash the likes, as he's saying. Thank you much, mate. JB saying, Frog and Will, are we talking about Bonnie Blue? Sound like the Views as well. Saw that one, laughing each other. Big up to Daz and Dazza. Yeah, I think, as you know, I did a thing the other day, a little short stream. It seems like always, we've got to sell this time before we can buy.
Yeah.
And it's who we're going to sell. That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Emerson's going, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like that's on the way. He's on the way out.
Is that end of contract?
I think he wanted to go anyway, didn't he? So I don't know if it's probably him running down a contract. It might be that.
Yeah, it might be. But if not, I mean, what? I don't know, 8-9 million for him. You know,
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe even like a championship club come in and get 7-8 million for him from them. You know, so you know, it's just that's silly money though. That's just pennies compared to what we're going to need.
Mm.
You know, we need to. If we need to buy decent players, we need to sell Kudus at a decent price. So, you know, for me, I think we should go balls out to get 70 plus for him. You know, I think 70 is an absolute minimum, and then they're robbing us.
The thing is, though, on that, mate, do you think, like, you know, as we know, there's an £85 million release clause. Is anyone going to, considering how he played last season, is any club going to think yourself, yeah, I'm going to stump up that money because he was all right?
Arsenal would.
Well, you go by that rumour, mate. They were talking about that 50 million, take it or leave it, if you believe all the...
No, I don't believe that at all.
So
I don't believe that at all. And do you know something? A lot of people that have been critical of the Declan Rice signing at Arsenal, and you know, I'm kind of pointing the finger at some Arsenal fans. You know, current guests in the chat excluded, of course, but some were very, you know, critical of that signing, and now they're very proud of it. They're kind of like they're bouncing off the walls now over him, you know. And so, if that is the case, Declan knows just how good Kudus is, right?
yeah,
And he knows what kind of a player Kudus is. Okay, people are going to go, is he better than Saka? Blah, 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 blah. But listen, right? I think Saka is probably the second best English right winger in the world, and probably about the fifth best right winger in the world. Okay. And I think Kudus is probably in the top three. When he's playing out on that right wing, we know, we've seen it, we experienced it. We've seen it live, Tony, in the studio, in the stadium.
Yeah.
When he's out on that right wing, he actually looks like he was born to be there. And therefore, a club that go in for him are going to want to use him there. They're not going to want to use him as a 10 or out on the left. Although he looks pretty good on the left sometimes, he's not comfortable out there, and therefore that's where his mistakes come from.
Yeah.
It's where his sloppiness gets noticed. His sloppiness, when he's on the right-hand side, turns into something bloody miraculous. Do you know what I mean? That mazy run in the Europa League, when he did, I can't remember who we were playing, but he did his mazy run and got his goal.
Yeah.
You know, two of them touches were kind of luck of the draw.
Well, sublime.
You know, could have gone either way, and he could have lost control of the ball twice.
True. As always, Harry saying, "Good evening, Anthony. I thought I saw an Afghan hound sitting in the back of a Fiat Cinquecento. And they're saying hello to each other.
Fiat answer to the Austin Maestro, wasn't it?
Is it the talking voice one? Damien says, if we pay for Duran on loan, it will free up cash to sack Potter. You never know, mate. You never know. Anthony saying, Harry, did you, was Budgie with you when you seen it? Fucking hell.
Crazy,
David said we will sign players. They are pressurised and Potter to sell. Yeah, as always, they want to make sure get the best, the best money as possible, but obviously give him very little. Good evening, Adam, and or Des Job podcast. Hi, chaps. Are you having trouble with Talk Studio, StreamYard? Yes, sir. We did have major problems with that.
Restream, all of them.
Yeah,
they're all down, and they're all coming up with a similar phrase, which is saying like, no valid stream available,
or YouTube API. So I don't know if you got that as well. Let us know if you did. That's the thing I was getting anyway. JB saying John Duran. He kicks harder than Van Damme. John Duran got to sign him for just that song alone. Oh, measure that. David said, I'll take Angie. We didn't play such a high line. Maybe that's just what he had. That's the problem. Maybe that's where Angie had the problem with the squad he currently had at the time. Des is asking, are we going to sign someone? I think we will do. I think it's a striker, if anything. Maybe we'll go for a striker. I mean, obviously...
We already have, let's be honest, okay?
We got the youngster, haven't we?
Eh? No, we signed Talair as well, haven't we?
Tadibo. Yep.
We've signed Tadibo, so that's a loan turned into a permanent deal, which we knew was going to happen. So we have actually signed someone, so 38 million quid's already gone now. But let's be honest, there is already other players that are pretty nailed on to come to us. And I think that that what's his name, the Burnley player that we've been linked with.
Did something about
Josh Brownhill,
yeah.
I think he's pretty nailed on, mate. It fits Sullivan's brief. He completely fits their brief, the board's brief. I think he's pretty well nailed on,
Yeah.
And also, I think that young, is it Chukwuemeka?
Oh, the Chelsea kid.
Yeah, he was out on loan last season, wasn't
he? Yeah.
But I think he loan ended. I think we're looking at him as well. I've just got a sneaking suspicion that we're looking at him. Nothing concrete. I haven't heard it, like from an ITK or anything. It's just that my brother has it on good information, and he's a Chelsea fan through and through. He has it on good information that he has recently moved to Poplar.
Okay, so you never know. Because obviously there is the talks. Obviously, if Kudos does go, there's going to be cash plus players thrown at us from Chelsea.
Yeah,
Chukwuemeka could be one of those. Obviously, Sanchez was another one. Matt saying not until we sell Daz. Apparently, what's Daz done? Because as Brendan says, why do we want to sell Daz? He's good on the chat.
We can't sell Daz. He's important to this club.
Steve, thank you very much. That's the one. Shirky, that's the one that they got in the last minute. So that's one that kind of scappers any kind of Paqueta kind of dealings with City now. Yeah. But as always, we don't know what's going on with this yet because obviously we're waiting for the trial.
But but fair play to City, right? They did say that that they felt that there was dodgy ground if they put in a bid for Paqueta, and they actually promised West Ham that they wouldn't until it was settled, and it's still not settled.
Yeah,
they needed someone for this Club World Cup. Fair play to them. They've gone out and got him. What did they pay for him? Like 47 or something, wasn't it? 49? It's under 50, wasn't it? But, they've gone out. They've gone and got somebody that can do the job for them.
Yeah, definitely.
And I reckon if Paqueta's trial gets him and not guilty, I've got a funny feeling there's already, a deal in place for City to bid for him.
I think there was, but them signing that Cirque and that might actually kind of stop that because he's basically same position and he's by all accounts he's a better player. So maybe Pep's faulty about it. because it's dragging the arse out of itself to get a resolution. Quick fix. He's looking to rebuild. He wants to hit the road. He's seen what Liverpool's doing,
and he's got a little bit of youth on his side as well. He's a couple of years younger, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key thing, isn't it? Good evening, Jason.
28, 27.
Yeah, 27, 28, so around that kind of age. So when you look at it, yeah, youngster like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like Paqueta again. I think most of the top 10 teams would be interested in him.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they'd be foolish if they weren't. Ace is saying Tottenham are very interested in signing Mohamed Kudus. Now Thomas Frank's there. Well, he's got a rebuilding job to do. If he gets back, another thing.
I don't think that Mohamed Kudus will give that a second thought. I think he would go. I think he would go if Tottenham. If Thomas Frank spoke to him, I think he would go there.
I think he wants Champions League football myself, so I don't think he would go there.
Tottenham have got Champions League football.
Oh, yeah, because they won the thing, didn't they? Silly arse, yeah. But if you look at it, he ain't stupid. If you go the likes of Chelsea or Newcastle, you've probably got more of a chance to kind of progress in that respects.
Well, depends now, mate. There's a whole new bag of bloody nails to discover.
True.
Thomas Frank, with that much of a budget.
Yeah, but Levy's tight as arseholes, though, bud. He don't like giving out money.
Well, the thing is, he obviously has been made some promises.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's gonna be interesting times.
It is. I'm actually dreading it because I think Tottenham are going to do very well under him. I'm dreading it.
There is that as well.
Fair play to Tottenham. They, as far as their history goes, they do deserve to be in top flight football. All around Europe. They do. They've had some wonderful players in their history and stuff. And let's see. But nobody thus far has actually built a Tottenham that can win the league. Always struggle in the league when they're doing well in cup competition.
I suppose the closest they got to that was Pochettino, but for me, he plateaued out anyway.
Yeah.
Matt saying looking forward to seeing Reindeers this season. Good player. Yeah, they've just signed him as well, haven't they? So they're looking. They've got a bit of intent now, City. That's for sure. They sound like each other there. Harry's saying the Dutch under-21s are losing 2-0 in Finland.
Damn.
Usual saying exactly the same thing at half-time. Brendan's asking, are the young Dutch finished then? Looks like 2-0 in that. It's a bit of a hard one to climb up with.
Yeah, and they're away as well, so it's going to be even more difficult to come back into a game.
Excuse me. Dad says, guys, what's your hopes for next season? Oh, dear. What's your hopes on that much?
I'm going to say that I won't be going to many games because I'm not a season ticket holder and I have to get my tickets from various sources when they're available. Okay. In fairness, there are more tickets available than I'm able to buy, or to afford the actual whole day, everything that goes with it. However, this season coming, I will be taking someone with me to a couple of games. And, she's coming over from the States and she wants to go to a couple of games. And so my hopes for this season are that the games that I go to with Kim, I'm hoping will be wins. And that the atmosphere is good, that the crowd respond, that West Ham show what they're all about to a visitor, Well, they do anyway, regardless. But, I just want that to be the case on the occasions that I go. And long term for the whole season for the club, I'm looking at a top 10 finish, mate, and I can't see that happening. Not currently, but let's see what the window brings.
I think that's the thing for me. It's that part. It's seeing what they get in the window, because that then kind of directs or steers our path to where we're going to be going. Hopefully, the main thing for me is we put last season to bed and we can move forward and we don't relive that nightmare, because none of us want to be put through that again.
I mean,
that was bad enough.
This really could be a case, right, of Christmas coming early. Yeah. Where we get in a few players to strengthen what we've got left. Couple of, youth academy players are promoted to the squad, and the squad can then be at a decent size that he likes to work with, right? And that, leading up to Christmas, we're doing reasonably okay. We're 13th to 10th, somewhere like that. That's what I'm saying. Christmas could come early, right? And then we go through the Christmas period, and then we've got another window where there might be more funds available.
Yep.
And then we can add to what we've got. Now, obviously, that's kind of very generic, and you'll hear that from probably every YouTuber. But what I'm saying is that I think that we've got to give him a chance, or we've got to give Carl McCauley a chance, or David Sullivan a chance to bring in the right players for the system that Potter wants to use.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree on that.
And we know that Potter's teams struggle to score goals, which is why we so desperately have to rely on Jared Bowen, Caduce at the moment.
True.
We've had to rely on them, Thomas Socek, but we haven't had Antonio.
No.
And no, not Sebastian Haller. He's gone a long time ago. Nicholas Fulkrug. I'm hoping he stays. I really am, because the glimpses that we've had of him, Tony, I've been very impressed with.
Now he's fit.
His approach and his post-match interviews.
This is true. True.
I like all of that about him.
We'll have more of that. Just to make you aware, Budge, on this kind of, we have an hour and we've got 13 minutes left, near enough.
Right. Okay, mate.
I'm going to go through some of these comments. Ian saying, evening, chaps. I don't think a whole window is enough for us to do anything. We need a slow start and selling before we buy. Tells me that we will do next to nothing with the time we now have. And I think that's going to be crucial. I mean, the 9-day window, it's all to do with this Club World Cup. What a complete waste of time, basically. Even if you should have kept it open, it's not going to stop anything.
What harm would that have done?
Exactly that.
And close it on the day the season starts.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? Gary saying we're never going to replace Rice's 100 million. What good players are going to join the West Ham circus? There's a few clans out in some of the other clubs. I can tell you that, Gary. So we'll have no problems with them lining up.
No, listen, trust me. When I say that young Valente, the lad that Damien mentioned, these are players that would love to come to West Ham. They've seen that we've won a trophy recently, and that we are considered a reasonably big club in the country. They might look upon us as maybe a view to going on to a bigger club. But, however, they would come to us. Yeah. And for the year or 2 years that we get out of them, that's what Potter does best.
Yeah, get the best out of them. That Reviews is asking, is Bud rolled in the joint? No, it's medicinal. It's medicinal cigarettes. They're new, apparently, Views. They're very new.
No, look, I smoke. There it is. Old Oban. No, mate.
Harry said, flaps extended, reminds me of a girl I once knew. Oh, jeez. Steve says, H, you know her well then. You know her as well. Oh, dear. Oh, usual. Look at that black box right on time.
Yeah.
Same girl with the web feet. Oh dear. Daz is asking, Budgie, are you on next Wednesday? You and Kieran.
I'm assuming that providing StreamYard have resolved their issues, yes. Otherwise, we're going to be up shit creek, basically.
Yes. Hopefully they're get all organised by then. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Colin, good evening to yourself, mate. Good evening, Tony and Budgie. You wonderful gentlemen. Good to join you, fellows. Glad you come back in, Colin. Yeah, we did have a bit of a technical thing, and we do thank you for coming back. Thanks for coming in. She definitely was for a puppet. Nobody pays 70 million for kudos. This is the thing, Matt. I don't think this is where we're gonna have a bit of a problem. Wurzel says, "Where's the key to the combine after Durant?" Gary says, apparently, apart from Bowen and Aaron Wembanyama, everyone is for sale at West Ham, even Betty the tea lady. Yeah, and she makes a decent couple and all, Yeah, look, Steve said, not Betty, for fuck's sake. Frog says, Matt the 10 agree, based on last season's non-performances. Yeah, look at that. Keep Betty, sell Doyce. Absolutely. Dad says, why don't we try the championship? There's some good players in there. There is some good players, Daz, and give it Sullivan. That's where he'll go for the cheap and cheerful.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't Ipswich in the championship when Creswell came to us?
Yeah, I believe so.
Jared Bowen from Hull to us.
Yeah. So there's been
some success with certain players, and Aaron Creswell gave us 11 years.
11 years. Yeah. Good evening, Michael. Evening, guys. Tony and Budgie. Heard the rumours. Duran on loan next season. Yeah, we've had a little laugh on that one.
Yeah, mate. He's refused to come unless Mbappe's allowed to come with him. So we're deals on that now.
And he's saying, Wurzel was going to give Arteta the key for the combine harvester, but I don't fucking trust him to do that. Good evening to the assembled. Big up to yourself. Good evening. Hope you will. Evening, Harry. They're saying there. Michael's also Sullivan. Oh, give it a come up. Sullivan is a tight run and didn't want Potter, so he's going to throw him under a bus. Yeah, it's an easy cop out for him, isn't it, at the end of the day?
I suppose it could be,
Yeah, 100%. That job, Bob's Carson. England 2-0 up, the under-21s. Kids winning it 2-0 versus Czechs. Anthony says, didn't do our show tonight with flip-flop because of StreamYard. I had an intuition, Anthony. Yeah, it's ball ache, man, I tell you. Ray, good evening to yourself. Evening, Tony, Budgie and all.
Evening. Unfortunately, we've got about, 7 minutes left?
8 minutes at the moment and counting. Brownhill does not fit the get average age down, Budgie, saying, yes, that's very true. Like that.
Yeah.
No point in looking at players till we sell. Yeah, this is apparently the remit they were saying.
Yeah.
Brendan saying, is this Sully's transfer tactics? If players fit into his briefs they are in, wouldn't surprise me knowing that, if he knows it comes with a cheap thing, he'll take it up. Matt saying Brownhill link was denied by a top source. Interesting. Oh, it's now 2-1 in the England game, I think, there. Luke Chapman, good evening to yourself. My new striker, Kamara Sawyer, joined Northampton Town from West Ham. See, there's one start already in that. Good evening to yourself, Luke. Thanks for coming in. Good, thanks for appreciate that. Dad says I'm worth 300 million, or Harry said 300 yen. 300 million yen, worth for a penny. Frog says, just don't get what the fuck this club is trying to do to rebuild personally. All seems PT, piss and wind. Can't get excited about anything being floated. It seems to be, unfortunately to say it, the West Ham way. That's how we're going now.
I have just been informed that StreamYard is now working.
Typical.
We've been invited onto Dad's Our Job podcast, if you want to go on now.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much. And what's happened here? Because it suddenly jumped out of my pocket, this one. Where is it now? We are so far beyond the others. Yeah, it's got The owners can't sell anything and buy it back at a silly profit like Chelsea, who sold the hotel for 500 million, then bought it back for 50 million, 450 for PSR budget profit. Yeah, that's old Bowley for you.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can try and catch up there. Yep. Keep jumping this bloody thing. There, me budge. I think it's because we're nearing the time now. So apologies, people. I'm going to have to kind of go down a little bit. So I see what you're saying about smash the lights, guys. Daz is saying, if by the sea. Michael Bleed saying just sub to Daz. Well done for doing that. Banging us on the usual on Trosh. Can I get that out of the way?
Oh. It's actually Streamlabs that's working, not StreamYard.
Oh, Streamlabs, okay.
That's the one you usually use, isn't it?
Yeah, Streamlabs is the Talk Studio one, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and he say, good news, StreamYard back up and running. Now I took it down because I kept calling him a prick. Promises the Buzzcocks. Michael Bleed saying, Frank's the Spurs as a gamble on his parts. He's comfortable at Brentford, no chance of dismissal. That's the thing. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. England now 2-1. 4 minutes 59. We've got the going on. Trosh says England on 20 is a much better watch than the senior team. Yeah, what a load of crap that was. They lost it, didn't they?
And then 3-1 to Senegal.
Yeah, and then Tuchel's trying to blame Tom, Dick and Harry. What the hell was that all about?
Yeah. And the funny thing was, Senegal had probably the worst striker in Premier League playing for him, Nicholas Jackson.
Wow. Let me just say that again.
Did us.
Yeah, apologies, people. Like I said, just trying to catch up because obviously time is limited for us at the moment. So we will be kind of going off the air shortly. But we're thanks for you coming in and being with us. Like we did have serious technical issues.
We'll get back to the proper format next week.
Yeah. Ray's asking any news on the Japanese forward, Ichi Fanny.
What was that one about my boy scoring? Before
that. Budgie's boy scored. I think the young lad he was on about.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Luciano Valente.
Thank you there, Adam.
I'll be with you shortly anyway. Definitely.
Good evening, Morg. Thanks for coming in as well. Fixtures out next week. Yes, indeed. So that's another one we'll be seeing. Who we face next.
Well, that'll probably be the title of next week's show if they come out before then.
Evening, Paul. Thanks for coming in as well. Appreciate that. Just want to bang on the drum all day long. 100 million for Betty or no deal. Take it or leave it. David Shear, good evening to yourself, mate. You must be very easy. Can I be frank with you? Come on, you fucking Spurs. David saying, good day, Tony and Budgie. Good day to yourself as well, mate.
Good evening, David.
And I think it's the boldness of youth while the under-20s are better watch. No harms. Mama saying, no worries, lads. At least you got the stream going. Yes, thank you for that, Mama. Yeah, it took a while. He comes to Senegal. His mum's a cannibal.
Maybe you should just vet them before you read them out.
Oh, no, no. Harry says, Valenti has just scored for the under-21s. Budgie, so they're saying that.
See, I'm telling you, I know a player when I see one.
Well, Brendan saying Man City away the first game. You can just see it, can't you? Best under-20 team in league, but none make England team. There you go. That says it all. Well, we saw that with Bowen, didn't we, Michael, anyway? I used to say 9 a.m. Wednesday, new fixtures released. Thank you for that as well. And Matt saying Leeds away, Burnley at home, and Man City away, first 3 fixtures of the season. He thinks to that. So, last but not least, because we have literally got less than a minute to go, people, thanks for coming over to us onto this stream while we've got it going at least. As always, if you haven't already, hit the like button, share if you can, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and also at Green Street Elites. It will be in the description when I kind of find out where this has all gone to. We really appreciate sticking with us. It was painful this afternoon.
Hey, listen, even if the links ain't there, we've had fun.
Yeah, that's for sure. And always say at this point is make sure that you enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you haven't already, you've already heard There's a Job podcast. If you want to go over there and join in, go and help him out, etc. Mama, you're most welcome as always. And Dharma, Jesus, how many cushions has Budgie underneath him? All right there, Baldy. Telt will be here as P. Perry. Thank you, mate. Dad say night all top show.
Thanks, Dad.
Brendan, thanks to Budgie Chatters. Night all, night to yourself as well. Thanks, chat, and please hit the like as you leave. Harry, cheers, gents. Much love into the chat and to same for this. And usual saying, all on to dads. Leeds will be a tough game indeed. So, thank you very much for being with us. We are now signing ourselves out. But as always, don't forget, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.